It all began when I was 6. With my mother as a single parent and Halloween approaching, we didn't have much money. She decided to borrow a neighbor's figure skating outfit and wig for my trick-or-treating costume. My mother asked me to change into a pair of white nylon panties, which I found a bit embarrassing but did as instructed. Next, she helped me put on pink tights, followed by a pink leotard and a red wrap skirt. Unable to wear skates while trick-or-treating, we tied them and hung them over my shoulder, and I wore white Mary Janes. The blonde wig came next, and I thought the costume was complete until my mother took me to the bathroom. She applied red lipstick, mascara, and eyeliner to my face and admired her work. I was mortified, standing there looking like a little girl. Trick-or-treating was profitable but also humiliating. Many people mistook me for a real little girl, making comments like, "What a cute costume your daughter is wearing," and "What a pretty daughter you have." I struggled to respond with a simple thank you. The following summer, I received an unexpected surprise. After playing in a field with friends and getting quite dirty, I returned home to find my mother very upset. "Look at you," she exclaimed. "You're covered in dirt. Go to the bathroom and get in the tub right now." Eager to avoid more trouble, I obeyed. When I came out of the tub, my mother informed me that she hadn't yet done the laundry and that I had no clean underwear. However, she had saved the panties from Halloween for me to wear. I hesitated but didn't want to get into more trouble, so I reluctantly put them on. She then gave me a pair of shorts and a t-shirt to wear for the rest of the day. I went back outside to play, but I couldn't stop thinking about the fact that I was wearing girls' panties underneath my clothes. I felt extremely self-conscious and embarrassed. I didn't want my friends to find out, fearing they'd think I was childish or silly. As a result, my play was more subdued than usual. I avoided climbing trees to prevent anyone from catching a glimpse of my panties. That night, my mother asked me how I felt about wearing the panties. I was embarrassed, I admitted. I didn't want anyone to know. If they found out, they'd think I was like a silly girl and wouldn't want to play with me anymore. "And what exactly does that mean?" my mother asked. "Do you think girls are silly? Do you think boys are better than girls?" I replied, "Girls play silly games. They don't want to play marbles or baseball, they just sit and talk to dolls. That's silly because everyone knows dolls can't talk." My mother's face turned red with anger, and I was confused about what I had said to upset her. She told me to go to bed, and I did so feeling restless, troubled by my mother's anger and unsure of what I had done wrong. The next morning, at breakfast, my mother told me we were going shopping that day. I dreaded shopping since it usually meant hours of wandering through the store as she examined every item. Realizing that my day of playing outside was ruined, I felt disheartened. Noticing my expression, my mother said, "Cheer up, we're shopping for you. You're getting some new clothes." I couldn't understand why I needed new clothes with 5 weeks still left before school began. I quietly finished my cereal, not wanting to upset my mother further. After breakfast, she quickly bundled me into the car and drove to the department store. She took my hand and led me inside, maintaining a firm pace as we bypassed the boys' section and headed straight for the girls' department. I was horrified and tried to pull away, but her grip was too strong. I was dragged, kicking and screaming, into the lingerie section. "Since you think girls are silly, you need to learn otherwise. The best way to do that is to experience being one for a while," she said. "But I don't want to be a girl. I'm a boy, and I want to stay a boy," I protested. My mother ignored my objections and continued her mission. We stopped at the panty display, where she chose a package of pastel-colored panties with lace appliques and ruffled edges. I was mortified, knowing these would soon be on me. Next, we moved to the section with slips and camisoles for little girls. She selected 2 full slips, 2 half slips, and 2 camisoles, all in white nylon. As she picked up the feminine underwear, I started to cry, feeling certain that she intended to make me a girl forever. I felt hopeless, believing I was doomed to be a sissy girl with no way out. My mother then bought several skirts, blouses, dresses, and shoes, all distinctly feminine. When we got home, she made me undress and put on the panties she had selected for the day. Next, she dressed me in a full slip. I was sobbing uncontrollably, but she was unwavering. She then added a pink jumper, pink ankle socks, and a pair of pink tennis shoes. I sat there as she dressed me, unable to resist. I was utterly mortified, and when she told me to come downstairs and play if I wanted, all I could do was cry. For the rest of the summer, my mother kept me in skirts and dresses every day, and I never left the house. I spent my days in my room, crying until I was exhausted, but my mother never relented. When my friends came looking for me, I asked my mother to tell them I was sick and couldn't come out. Fortunately, she agreed and spared me the humiliation of my friends seeing me in girls' clothes. When school resumed, I was dressed as a boy again, but I still had to wear panties every day and a camisole instead of a t-shirt under my clothes. This continued for the next 3 years. When I was 9, I ran away from home and never went back. I don't know what happened to my mother, and I don't care. The police picked me up, and I told them I was an orphan whose mother had died. I gave them a false name and eventually ended up in a foster home. For those who think forced feminization is romantic or desirable, I say they are welcome to it. For me, it took years of counseling to recover. The trauma from being forced to dress as a girl led to violent and antisocial behavior, resulting in several school expulsions for fighting and disruptive pranks.